what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. It is another blistering hot day in Los Angeles. It's a beautiful day out there. You'd never know that we're in the midst of a pandemic. It is great. It's gorgeous. I am here joined today with my co-host, Steffie Baik.
Hello, y'all.
Hello.
I'm so excited about today.
Oh, yeah. We got to...
Oh, my gosh. I can't even tell you right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, tell us, how excited are you? What kind of excitement are you feeling?
Like, inside, I'm like sweating because it's also hot, but I'm also sweating because I fucking
Are you
love
nervous
Asa.
or what?
I don't even know if it's nervous. I'm just excited as hell because, like, you're such a legend. You're just such a boss person.
Shit.
Yeah. So
I'm a legend too, though, for real.
All right, whatever.
I'm a self-proclaimed legend. I guess legends don't really... Are legends, like, do legends say they're legendary?
No, I mean, not if you're cool, you know?
All right, cool. We're gonna bring in our guest. This is a homegirl / someone we've talked back and forth a lot online, but we haven't hung out much. And then we've recently did an interview on the Pornhub IG Live that was actually turned out to be one of my favorite little quick interviews. It was just great. So without further ado, this is my guest today, Asa Akira.
Woo!
Hey,
Hi.
Hey, Asa, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for the kind words, Steffi.
Yeah, Steffi seems mad excited.
I don't think I've ever been that excited.
Wow, that's No
offense to everyone
You're gassing
else.
up Asa crazy. I want to. So Asa, you're always broadcasting from your bed right there. Very cozy.
Looks classic.
That wasn't like a porn joke or anything. That was just you're just always doing stuff there.
I mean, like, I guess the joke in porn is like we work on our backs or like we work from the bed from, I'm a mattress actress or whatever. But I'm like literally since Corona, I have been doing all my work from the bed, and I got one of these like little table things like for the bed. It's like basically for like handicapped people.
Right.
But so now I'm like I like never have to leave this little room.
What size bed are we talking? Is that a queen or a king?
I have a king.
King. Okay. I feel like that should be a thing, like asking like porn stars like what size bed y'all have.
That's an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
You've made it if you have a king.
A king
or
size
a California king even.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? I actually had a California king before this one because I was under the impression that it's like bigger than a king, but it's actually just for tall people, and I'm not tall.
Oh.
So it was like big in all the wrong ways.
Oh.
So yeah.
I was gonna
misconception.
Yeah.
I just thought about something as I said the words porn star. Is everyone who just goes into porn a star?
I mean, I think there's like definitely a debate. Like I think a lot of people draw the line somewhere different. I think some people are like, oh, you need to win awards to be a porn star. Some people are like, you need to fuck someone of the other gender if you're going to be a porn star. But I feel like if you're doing porn, like you can call yourself a porn star. There's so much against you already. You know what I mean? Like, do we really
give them that title at least?
Porn? Yeah, like it's I think it. Like I think anyone who does porn can be a star.
Okay. I was just wondering if people are first like, no, I do porn, and you got to earn the star part or something, But
I mean, I will say, I think it's kind of like how you guys were talking about legends before. Like, I definitely now, I'm 12 years in. I refer to myself as a porn star now, but like, yeah, for the first few years, it was definitely like, I do porn. Like, I wasn't really throwing that around.
I was gonna ask you just in general, like, how are you doing this past year? Like, how's everything for you?
Everything's been good, like considering, I guess. But for me, like, I'm really lucky I'm able to like work from home. Luckily, like my industry has not really been affected too much by the pandemic, like not financially, not in that way. So I don't know, like and I'm a homebody. So like I'm not feeling that much of a difference, like when it comes to like going out or
has it
also like I just had a kid.
Well, can't hear.
No, I think she's on.
I think it's kind of slow.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
Do you feel like there's been like it's been a bit more competitive maybe for other people that are more, amateur or haven't been in the industry for so long because of, OnlyFans and all these other forms of, online platforms. Yeah.
I think it's kind of both. I think for sure there's more competition just because everyone's doing it, but I think it's also like a time where like doing porn is just so much more possible and accessible now. Like I think it's actually a really great time to get into porn.
Yeah.
Ladies. But I just think, like because of platforms like Pornhub and OnlyFans and ManyVids and all these like platforms where you can be the producer, the director, and the star, and you can just, make most of the money, and there's not really a middleman. You don't need to go through a studio or wait to get hired. And you can control your own image. Like I wish I could erase the first 3 years I did porn.
Wow.
Like I just like I hated my makeup and like I all the wrong companies and like it's just, and of course like that's the first page of Google, and like so for me like I think it's a great time for women to get into porn because you can be your own boss and control your own image and really only put out the content that you want out there.
Yeah.
While making the most money.
Let me ask you, like, because I feel like you've been so prolific in the industry. Like, do you consider yourself a workaholic? Like the amount of stuff you've produced, like is it up there with like just a lot of work in that world?
I mean, yeah, like I don't know about workaholic. Like I don't know. For me, I'm Asian.
Yeah.
That itself explains it.
Yeah, like I don't know. And it's also like porn is one of those industries where like anyone can get in, and most people don't get into porn because they want to work a lot. You know what I mean? So it's not the hardest thing to get a reputation for being like a hard worker in porn.
Yeah.
So like I think if you have the mindset of like getting into porn, you're going to treat it like a job, you're going to be professional. I imagine it's like kind of similar in the music industry maybe, but like on time every day, like that's already huge.
Yeah. I was gonna
and
ask,
people expect so little of us,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because you said something that's kind of interesting where you said like I'm Asian, right? And like I think about this, for instance, like I mean that was funny, but I was just talking about, we did a whole episode about like anxiety on my other show with Sasha, and we were having a creative meeting, and it was hard for me to kind of understand it because like growing up, we never discussed like what anxiety was or like therapists or therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in my creative room that was white had like gone to therapy and all these, like they've really discussed this issue. You know what I'm saying? Like if I brought that shit up to my mom, like she would not get what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if like culturally there are these things that the whole definitions of symptoms and shit are just out the window. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like when you said like you're Asian, do you actually feel like when you're grinding and shit, it was just like a standard of like grinding that was level Asian or something?
I mean, I guess like now when you put it like that, it's kind of hard to tell because like now I'm like, now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't know. Like that's just the easiest answer. You know what I mean? Like
what
of course,
did you grow up?
I'm on time. I'm Asian.
Did you grow up with a lot of Asians around you? Or were you...
Yeah, and at home, like my family is very Japanese.
Okay.
We like I only speak in Japanese with my parents, for example. And like,
wow.
Culturally we're very, very Japanese. And yeah, a lot of the people around me were Japanese or Asian in general, I guess. But yeah, like I mean, I know what you mean about like all the therapy and stuff, because I got into therapy. I did a little bit of therapy as a kid and like didn't really like it, but now as an adult, with like now that I have the vocabulary to talk about anxiety and depression, like feelings and feeling validated and like gaslighting and like all this stuff, it is crazy. Like you're right. If I said any of those things to my mom, not only would she be like, "What's that?" She would be like, "That's not a real thing." She would gaslight me.
Right.
I wonder if like sometimes, I mean, of course, those are real symptoms and real worries and things that people go through. But I'm wondering, you know, it's like I saw that documentary, like American Factory, right? With the Chinese factories and the American factories like competing, and the Chinese companies coming to America and like taking over because there's all these like little the Americans are taking mad breaks and there's these labor laws and all this shit. Like all that shit would not even, you couldn't even use like anxiety or depression or none of that shit out there.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not an option.
Well, it's like
think.
working through. It doesn't matter if you have feelings or not. It's like just keep doing, right? I think that's like a lot of Asian mentality is like forget like any of your emotions that you have or anything else that you feel. It's about doing something, and then there must be results.
I mean, it's kind of the American mentality that's even kind of making us so delayed and behind on how we're handling COVID in a way too. You know, like that we have this whole side who's just like, no, fuck that. I don't need to wear a mask. Like, it's a free country. You know what I'm saying? Like there isn't a lot of cooperation. You know?
Yeah, no, I think you're so right. I think that's exactly why America is doing so horribly. Is like like in America we have no concept of like the collective or right? Like there's no like I mean, even think back to like 1 year ago when Americans totally did not fucking understand why Asians wore masks. Like I think in the from the American perspective, like they thought Asian people wore masks because they were afraid of getting sick. But it's like, no, people wear masks when they're sick so they don't spread their germs and get other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's such a hard thing. I think that's a hard thing for a lot of Americans to grasp. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, it's all over here. It's all about that individualism, and there's not really a consideration for others, you know?
Right.
But yeah, before we get derailed. So in general, like if our parents did porn, they would kill it because their work ethic is next level. They would walk 3 miles in the snow to do a porn shoot.
Oh my god.
I mean, kind of though, like literally, I mean, okay, maybe this isn't so much to do with like being Asian, but like literally the first boy-girl scene I ever did, I was living in New York and I took a 3-hour bus to like bumblefuck nowhere, Pennsylvania, to shoot for someone I kind of knew. And like I took a bus to my first porn shoot, like for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like that's so not glamorous. But to me, like I wanted it badly enough that I did it. So I don't know that it's like an Asian drive, or maybe it's just like I really wanted to do porn. Like for me, that was the goal. Like I really wanted it. And so I don't know that I would be acting like this if I were, you know, in any other job. If I were at a 9 to 5, I'd probably be like the shittiest employee.
Yo,
like,
we need an 8 Mile version for Asa Akira. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Real talk. Yo, Asa Akira, the story, the underdog story. The underdog
story. That's so cool though. You had that goal and you went for it, and you didn't care. You didn't care about that whole 3 hours of unattractive bus driving.
I was gonna say, because you know, like we're around the same age, you know, and I always think about this, like with porn stars, because it's like watching porn at a young age and also porn stars starting at a young age. It's like there's porn stars that I would watch and they would feel so much older than me, you know, because I'm watching them on the screen, and then we get older and we're like, oh shit, you're my age. It's like, you know, like I always found that wild, like, because you're almost like immortalized at a young age by older people too. You know? Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I guess that's really true. But also, like, sex is like a mature thing.
Yeah.
Like even now, like I'll meet really like young women in porn, and dudes too, but more so women. And like the young people they're not like your typical 18-year-old. or 19-year-old.
Right.
Like they're, and maybe I just don't view them that way because like they're fucking right in front of me, and it's like, you know, but it feels different to me too, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I also don't view them as like that young.
Do you know when you meet these new porn stars or these kids that are trying to get to like, a high, they want to become like major porn stars like you, are there any, signs like when you watch them and you're like, wow, this kid's gonna be special? Like you're like, this
She's
kid's
a
gonna
star.
make it into Hollywood, you know?
She's gonna take Tinseltown by storm.
Is it like enthusiasm?
Yeah, no, not necessarily like the young thing. Like, I mean, first of all, like, I don't even think people should be getting into porn at 18, but like, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, like, regardless of the age, I mean, like, I've even seen like 40-year-olds get in, and I'm like, oh, they're so special.
Wow.
You definitely see people who are special. I think it's definitely like how horny they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think for real, like, I think, because I think you talk about like the person getting in and wanting to be a star, like that's not necessarily like the most common type of porn star I see come into the game. Like usually it's someone who's like, I could do porn, like it's not like I'm gonna be the next Jenna Jameson. Like, no, like that's pretty rare. Like that's a really different kind of person. But yeah, like when they're really horny, it's not even like a looks thing. Like I don't think like looks matter as much as we think. I think there's definitely an energy that makes certain performers just like really special. And like I don't know, like I'll watch some women having sex like on set, and like I just can't take my eyes off of them. And like for me at this point, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like thinking about, I don't know, like what I'm gonna order tonight.
So wait, like, okay, I want, far as like being like, see how horny they are, you said. I'm curious because like I'm horny, she's horny, like you're horny. Like, what is the horniest person you've ever seen? Like, what? Like, explain what is a very, very horny person.
I think it's more than just like being horny for sex. It's also like being horny for like performing, and like you can just really tell, I think, when someone like wants to be watched having sex. Like it's really a different energy, and I think to me it translates as horny, and like they're just like hungry for it, and like I don't know, it's like something special for sure. Like one of the last people I saw that I was like, oh my god, this person is so special, is the girl named Elena Koshka. And like, I don't know, like she was just so like powerfully enticing in that way. I think Abella Danger has it.
Yeah.
Is it the same for men too? Is it the same and whatever internal energy that's coming from them? That no, it's different. What makes a man?
No, because like a lot of times, like I would say a lot of the guys that are like my favorite to fuck are not necessarily the ones that are best on camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I think, okay, like I'll give you a perfect example. Like I think Johnny Sins is probably one of the most famous porn stars.
He's my favorite. No.
Oh god damn! It froze again on Discord. Hold on. Oh, there she. Okay, I think she's back. Say something, Asa.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're back. Okay, cool.
So yeah, I think a great example is Johnny Sins, who's like everyone's favorite porn star. He's so good at porn. His dick's big and it's always hard, and like he doesn't get tired. Like he's just a perfect porn star. Like I wouldn't, and I love working with him, but I wouldn't say that he's like my favorite or the most fun to fuck, like necessarily.
Really?
Like, he's great, don't get me wrong, but like to me, like I think like a lot of times like the guys that are like most into fucking and the most passionate and the most horny are like, it almost works against them because like they just they'll like they don't want to like open up for the camera, or like it's a whole different thing for guys, I think. Like yeah, so for guys I would say like when It's very obvious when a guy is going to be successful because he can keep his dick hard. He can fuck anyone. Like he's not too affected by like who he's actually attracted to or like his emotions or if he's having a bad day. Like honestly, like yeah.
My horniest moment I recall was when I was like young, you know, like that peak, just hormones raging. I was like 13 years old, 8th grade. My teacher, I was like joking around in class like a class clown. Yeah. And my teacher punished me by making me go in the back of the class and face a corner. And I was facing the corner of the room standing. And I did one of those things where I like moved my arm into my shirt.
No, dude.
And I like jerked off in the corner of the room. Like
to the end? To completion?
Yeah, to completion,
no,
yeah.
Dude.
But it was like right when I was really young and I was just starting to like produce semen. So it was like a gun with the bang thing coming out, like bang, like nothing really came out. You know what
Were
I'm
you
saying?
hella silent? Or were you just in the corner like, I've been a bad boy?
Nah, it was just, I don't know what, like when thinking back on that, I have no idea like how horny I had to be to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like facing the wall. Like literally the whole class is there just like studying. Teachers like facing me pretty much, you know, like facing the class. And yeah, that was my horniest moment.
You gotta be so horny to go there.
True.
I mean, levels of horny.
I've never been that horny.
Yeah. Have you ever been horny at a funeral?
Whoa. Isn't
me?
That...
Yeah, have you ever been horny at a funeral or a church?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking everybody in the class right now.
I mean, no, I've maybe been to like a handful of funerals. I've never gotten horny at a funeral, but I am definitely like, when I'm sad, I get horny.
Yeah.
I think it's like my brain playing some kind of defense mechanism.
Interesting.
Like you need like whatever chemicals make you happy, and so you know sex is gonna do that for you somehow.
Have you ever cried during sex?
Yes.
I'm curious about that. Like, what goes through what's going through your head if you're crying during sex?
Well, no, like I've never cried of sadness during sex.
Oh, okay.
But I've had a few times where I'm like so overtaken by like just like intense emotion that I've cried.
I felt that before for sure. Dude.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like it's not even like, oh my God, it came so hard I cried. It's more just, I don't know, like it's just like
it's like beautiful or something.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I feel like coming is already crying through your dick. You know? Wait, hold on. Also, oh, there she's back. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like sometimes like when I'm coming, I feel like it's just crying like tears through my dick. You know, because it's
you said
like
you haven't cried in like years. Right?
I haven't, but I've been coming, so maybe it's fulfilled my crying needs. You know, like
no,
because I've done it when I'm because I have the same thing of like wanting to fuck when I'm sad. But you know what I'm saying? Like, especially sometimes, like even a heartbreak, you try to deal with it by like fucking somebody else, right? Like a lot of people have done that. Which is not healthy, I'm sure, right?
You know what also happens to me, like speaking of sadness and coming, is like a lot of times I'll masturbate, and this only happens after I masturbate, never during sex or like anything else. But a lot of times I'll masturbate and I'll get super depressed for like 30 seconds.
Wow.
Like just a wave of like
yeah,
shame and depression falls, like I can feel it in my heart. And then it goes away.
I've felt that so many times sitting bare ass on my computer chair. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people who have gaming chairs feel that all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got a gaming chair and you come right on the edge of your gaming chair. Dude, that has to be depressing for a good 30 seconds to a minute for sure. And you have like Grand Theft Auto on the screen for like, you know what I'm saying? Like that has to be a little bit depressing.
It's crazy that it's so shameful for us and still feel that way. Even now, when it's like, how much of the world is like masturbating?
It's not. I don't think it's it's not the shame of like that you just masturbated, right? Well, where's the depression coming from? You think?
I think partially it could be. Yeah.
Mine feels chemical. I think.
Okay.
Or maybe that's just what I tell myself. But like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I grew up with a lot of shame around sex and like masturbating. Like my family is not like I'm pretty sure my parents had sex once to have me, and like that's it. But like I so maybe it comes from that, but like to me it feels like when you when you're like coming off of drugs, like it feels like that kind of depression where it's like inescapable for like a minute. Like there's like I could win $1 billion and have like the best meal in front of me and like all the people I love are around me, and it's like that would not help in that moment.
Wow.
Can I just add that if they had sex only one time to have you, that would be the most amazing story ever, dude. like they had sex once to create the Michael Jordan of fucking. Like that's great. Oh my gosh.
The irony.
Yeah.
It's all contained.
I gotta ask you because we were talking about this last time about Pen 15, and the main she's Japanese too.
Maya.
Maya Erskine. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Japanese in it too. And like there was this episode about her masturbating, and there was like that word for the ghost or whatever. Did you see that episode? It was like an old ghost, like a Japanese.
Yeah, I don't remember everything, but I don't remember like what the word was, but like every word they've used in their Japanese is really on point.
Yeah.
Like, that's her real mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy.
They really
that show is so good.
I thought they captured that horniness of that age so well. You know what I'm saying? Being that age and like just discovering masturbating and like just being like a zombie to it.
Being awkward as
yeah,
hell
but you know
with
what?
opposite
Like
sex,
imagine in Pen 15, one of those kids was told to stand in the corner and he jerked off. We'd be like, yeah, right. Nobody would do that.
Oh no.
Nobody would be that
Okay, first
horny.
of all, I think if they did that, say like there was a scene of some kid doing that, like I'd be like, oh shit. Finally, someone who gets me.
You'd be the one kid. Everyone else would be appalled.
No, there's definitely kids who've done mad horny shit. Like, if you're
Yeah.
horny at that age, you're like fucking everything at your house. Any
Yeah.
crevice you could find. Like, you know what I'm saying? Of a couch or a pillow or doll or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's...
What's the weirdest thing you fucked at that age?
Ooh.
Damn, I've done some weird shit. I don't even know if I want to go into it publicly, but when I'm on podcasts, I just don't feel like I give a fuck. For some reason, when I do podcasts, I'm like, no one's going to listen to this. You know, I'll say one thing.
I know exactly.
During that time, I remember like Napster and like file sharing programs just came out. So like to download a porno still took forever. Like a video clip took forever.
Mhm.
So like I found a little hack where I would search sex noises. So I download an MP3 of moaning and jerk off to the audio part of it. Like just literally the audio, because it would it would be way quicker just to download the MP3 than a video file. So all you hear is just moaning, like, I just have my headphones on. I have my fucking headphones on, just with my eyes closed, jerking off to MP3s.
Do you think that helps you?
That's such a pervert's hack.
Do you think that's more important? Like, would you rather have like a black screen with that when you're masturbating, or would you rather be watching a porn with no sound? What's really?
Wait, repeat that again. Say that again.
I mean, who even watches porn with sound? Like, I never watch porn with sound.
Oh, so you don't need you don't need the sound in the porn.
So
I feel like I don't.
Wait,
what's more important, like the sound? Like, can you watch a blank screen but hear the moaning? Would you come faster that way, or if you were watching a screen but with no sound?
Of course, watching the screen, visual is like way more intense. I mean, I don't know.
I couldn't come to the audio.
Really?
I was.
You
I
could?
think that I would be more turned on. Well, I love hearing dirty talk and like role play, that type of stuff a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I was jerking
Me
off the
too.
way Stevie Wonder was, you know what I'm saying? With just just the fucking audio moaning noises. But I mean, sometimes the sound could take you out too.
That's true. if it's
Sometimes the
bad.
audio and the things they say could take you out of there too. You know, it's just too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. But also, like, the porn I watch is like, I like watching dudes jerking off. And I feel like the audio to that is like actually not that attractive. No offense.
The audio to a dude jerking off? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I can't even think about how I sound when I think I'm dead silent. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know, is that psychopathic? Like, am I a serial killer?
No, I think we're all used to that because it's such a private moment, and sometimes like we're around our parents. You start off with like being around your parents or like living in a household.
Oh, that's true.
So you're like used to being silent,
Yeah,
or like in
yeah.
your dorm room
Drywalls.
with your roommate right next to you, and you're like trying to do everything extremely silently. So your body's like probably used to that.
Yeah, that's called privilege.
Yeah.
If you grew up with like concrete walls, it's privilege. I had them drywall joints. So I have to be silent. It felt risky. I mean, I've definitely, when growing up, like jerked off when I didn't have like a lock on my bedroom door. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
Well, you did it in a classroom. That doesn't seem that surprising.
that was one time.
Yeah.
That was my boldest moment.
You did it in a
That was the
public-
boldest thing I've
That's
ever
pretty
done.
wild, dude.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom
What's the
doing that.
What's the most ridiculous thing like you've said during a shoot, like a porn shoot, like on camera? You know, like how there's like little dialogue or you're playing up like how much you're like feeling it and you're in the moment. Like, is there some ridiculous shit you said like looking back? You're like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, probably like I love you.
That is the wildest shit still.
I mean,
That's still the wildest shit.
I mean that's wild.
This is
No?
extremely.
Do people like hearing that? You think in pornos?
No. There's
I
no
don't
way.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I would feel weird if
I don't know if
just...
people like it, but like I've fallen in love like during sex like so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And
This is
Yeah, we did talk about it. And then afterwards it's like so embarrassing because I'm like, oh, what was I thinking?
yeah. After you said I love you and they're like cut and he's like, where's the craft services? It's like,
But I truly believe that like, I mean, whether it's like in porn or not in porn, like I don't think we should be like bound to the things we say during sex.
Mm.
Like I have asked so many dudes to get me pregnant, like
Yeah.
while we're fucking.
Right.
And I've meant it like maybe once.
Right. It's like saying certain things like turns you on too. Like even moaning or whatever, making auditory, whatever it is, it's almost like for
Mhm.
yourself too. It gets you going. So I could see like
That's
the
true.
pregnancy stuff. Like I've been hearing like girlfriends, I don't know like if you started feeling that after a certain age. Do you feel like it was like a biological thing or did it
No.
start from the beginning?
For me, it was the beginning, but
Wow.
get this, like when I was little, I was obsessed with pregnant women. Like they made me so horny. And
Wow.
like to the point where, and I was so young, like I remember watching Sesame Street when I
Mhm.
was little and like, because we're the same age, you guys, like, do you guys remember when Maria was pregnant?
nah, I don't remember that.
No? See? I was so horny for Maria when she was pregnant. It was like the best year of my life.
Oh my
like
God.
Jesus.
and so and I didn't even know like how babies were made or anything
Yeah.
like that. So I think I've definitely always had this like horniness for like pregnancy.
I
Or, like,
don't think
getting
that's
pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't think that's strange. I think a lot of people could find like a pregnant woman like sexy
Right.
or hot.
Mhm.
But now I feel like a fool, you know, about not taking anything said during sex seriously because, you know, I've had a girl tell me I love you and I was like, for real, you mean it? Like during sex, you know what I'm saying? So now I feel like an idiot. Like I literally
Take
just
it with a
stopped.
grain
I was
of
like,
salt.
hold on, before we continue, like, you mean it? No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. But no, I feel that we say some
I
wild
mean,
shit.
maybe some people mean it, you know. Maybe some people have more integrity when they're having sex, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
me.
No, it's- I was gonna talk to you. So you were recently pregnant as well. How old is your baby? By the way, I saw a flick. Baby's so cute.
Thank you.
Super cute.
It's a little hopper.
He's he's a little halfy and he's 1.5. He's like 19 months now, 20 months, 1.5.
Yeah.
So were you having fire sex while you were pregnant? Did you feel like that?
Yes and no. Like I was both. There were days where I was like the horniest I've ever been, and there were days that I was like the least horny I've ever been. Like
Yeah.
just like I mean, I don't know. Like I wish people would talk about this more, but pregnancy is like, for me, it was not great. Like I really, really did not feel great a lot of days. So I don't know, like and then like there's so much guilt around that too, you know, because I think like you're like, you know, you're doing like, I don't know what like a woman's supposed to do or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like guilt around it for me, like for like not like loving being pregnant.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, but it's like it's only fair. Like your body's going through crazy things during the process.
But I could see that because like people can be so judgmental and like put so much meaning behind like it's your own body and you feel a certain way, but you know, they're like, oh, you're not a good mom if like, yeah, exactly.
Enjoy God's gift. It's God's
gift. You're lucky, you know, like all these crazy things. That's like, that doesn't mean that's not how I feel.
Yeah. No, yeah. And like, I don't know, like there was also for me guilt around like, you know, like people say like this instant you see your child, you fall in love and everything changes and like, you're a different person and you have a new understanding. And like, it wasn't like that for me at all. Like when I first had my baby, like I felt like I got like a puppy. Like,
wow.
I love him and he's super cute, but like, could I like live without him? Yeah, sure. But now a year and a half into it, I'm like obsessed with him. Like
right.
I really like being a mom. And I'm not like, I don't think I'm actually like that maternal of a person naturally, but like now all the cliches are true. I'm like, I've changed. Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, you're still like, maybe I could still abort him. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Is it too late?
It looks just like a fetus to me. No, I'm kidding. And you also got married, right?
Yeah. This is my third marriage. But so the guy I'm with now is actually someone I've known since I was 14 years old.
Whoa.
And we've been on again, off again for like my whole life, basically.
Wow.
And this time we got together and we were like, let's just like really be together. And like, I don't know, something was different in both of us. And like, we just like really hardcore fell in love. You want to know what's crazy? Like we were definitely like having a kid was on the horizon. Like I was, you know, but we weren't like, I wouldn't say we were like trying. And when the baby was conceived, it wasn't even a cream pie. He came, it was a blowjob.
What?
He came in my mouth and I took the cum and I put it in my vagina.
No.
Like,
that works?
And I fucked myself with it.
I did not know that.
God, I love that. I'm fucking applauding.
That
so
seems
amazing.
like a very powerful feminine thing to
Holy
be like,
shit,
I got
I
myself
love that.
pregnant. That's very empowering,
I just got
actually.
fucking turned on by that. I was like, God damn.
Wait,
Levels.
so you can do that? I didn't realize
because
that.
You've heard of basters, like turkey basters.
For some reason, I just thought after you come and you pull your dick out and it hits the air, your sperm just dies.
You have like the weirdest. Like,
I thought
you thought you can't get pregnant if a woman is on her period. There's
no, that was some young shit. That's young shit. Every young person.
Wait, I thought that's true.
You could still get pregnant. It's just a lower percentage.
Someone told me that once and I ran with it because I'm like, okay, cool. Then I guess we can have sex raw and bust while she's on her period. I'm going to run with that.
I mean, I'm also like super an idiot about that. Like to me, I'm like, oh, pulling out is the best birth control.
Yeah.
That's probably wrong.
I feel like sex education is not that great in general. When I remember when I was young,
terrible.
My first girlfriend when I was like 16, 17 years old, I didn't even know about pulling out or anything. So like that whole time I could have literally gotten her pregnant and I didn't. And I busted in her so many times.
That is wild.
You know, like it's kind of crazy to think that. Like we were these like two young kids, just didn't know anything about that you had to pull out or anything. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, either like my sperm count is super low.
we have to, I think like that's something we really need to work on. I think like sex ed, like we know so little. It's really, it's fucked up that like kids are learning about sex from porn. Like that's not okay.
Right.
But a lot of kids like have nowhere else to go because their parents don't want to talk about it. Their friends are spreading misinformation that they also learned on the internet, and schools aren't really doing much, especially the schools that are like, abstinence is the only safe sex type thing. Like
being like in the industry, when do you think that you'll teach your kids about sex, or is that like
I think about that a lot. Like I don't know. I mean, so far the plan is to kind of play it by ear and see what kind of kid he is, I guess. Like if he's like me, like I remember like asking sex questions when I was 6. Like I was so interested in sex always. Like I was just like obsessed with it. And I was like checking out books from the library and like asking my dad to read them to me. And he was just like so embarrassed and like that didn't help me because I'm sure that like created some kind of weird relationship to sex in my mind too. But like I think I just like, no matter what the age, like I just want to make it really normal. Like I think it's such a shame that like every human being in the world gets horny. Like it's what we're literally programmed to do is like procreate. And yet like we're so shamed about it, especially women. Like I feel like women were only like, even like I see among my girlfriends, like women only started like admitting that we masturbate like not that long ago, like a few years ago. So I think it's like such a shame that like we have to feel like that. Like it's literally everyone on earth goes through it. Like why is it so embarrassing to talk about? So I guess I don't know what age, but I just want to make it very normal. And like even now, like I never say like, like we just potty trained, for example. And like I never say anything like, oh, you're wee wee or like your pee pee. Like I'm like, it's your penis. And like I just want to like build as little shame as possible around sex, genitals, touching yourself, any of that. Like
I think people have, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's even gotten better because of everything that's going on with sexual assault accusations and things like that. I feel like people are so afraid to talk about sex. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you automatically like look like a creep to people when you're not supposed to, it's not that you are a creep, but with all these things happening and you hear what the stories are, right? Like a random celebrity like pulling his dick out, jerking off or whatever in front of, but then because of all that, like people talk about aren't really public with it, even on just sharing stories.
Right. There's shame still around that.
I think like no matter what, like because of like the Me Too movement and like all these sexual assault stories, like I think like for our generation, like this generation, I should say, like it's gonna suck and be really awkward no matter what.
Yeah.
Because like I think like I'm by no means am I like a rape sympathist or rape enthusiast or anything like that, but like I think it is a really scary time for men in that way. Like if I were a man, I would not know how to navigate dating right now. Like I'd be so fucking terrified to like kiss a girl without asking her for consent. Right. And it's like, is that even like romantic? Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe like I just grew up with all these like preconceived notions, but like I don't know if I want to be asked every time I'm kissed by a boy on a date. Like, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't that take all the romance out? I don't know.
I feel that. I mean, because a part of how you date or you court somebody or, how you make a move on somebody is a little bit of like, it just takes up, you just kind of have to go for it. It's a little bit of that. So that dynamic changes a lot. But one thing I was going to actually say that you mentioned, with the porn industry and maybe like the Me Too movement, right? Like, is there some like weirdness around like rape fantasy stuff now? Like what like women go through? Like do they take a look at themselves psychologically? Like why do I feel this way? Is this problematic? Like about those things,
I think like not just rape, but everything is so awkward right now in the porn industry. Like I think we're like taking a huge look at ourselves when it comes to like race. And then also like when it comes to any type of fantasy fetish that's like taboo, like
Interesting.
whether it's incest or rape or race play or
Right.
even just like basic bondage that's like a man dominating a woman. Like I think it's so confusing for everyone because like on one hand we don't want to kink shame, right? Like on one hand it's like I think anyone should be able to fantasize about anything they want, especially because like take like a rape fantasy for example. Like a lot of people with rape fantasies are actually like working through their own trauma.
Right.
Or and then there's also the thing of like, you know, women, a lot of us were raised like to not really be proud of our sexuality or to not even admit to our sexuality. So like a rape fantasy is a way for like a lot of us to be sexual without having to take any responsibility for it. And like I think that's healthy and like it should be allowed. But also like I don't know, I guess where do we draw the line? Like at what point it's like something
But like
just like
the porn industry hasn't
instilling something in young people.
The porn industry hasn't been have they really been called out much for like, you know, any kind of problematic racial stuff? They haven't. I mean, it's just been one of those things where it's just been there, and it's been like everyone enjoys porn and has different fetishes. So it's kind of an interesting world. Like the one area where it hasn't really been.
Those conversations are happening so much in porn right now. I don't
wait, hold on.
think, but I think.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think like anyone.
Hold on, Asa. It went out again. Hold on, one second. Kind of froze.
How do we?
We're gonna take that.
We need. Should I just go over there?
Hold on, I'll do it real quick.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, go ahead.
So I don't think that anyone like looks at the porn industry and thinks that like we're problematic race-wise or like I don't know, like subject matter-wise, but I think like the porn industry, like we're really looking at ourselves right now and like a lot of changes are happening because yeah, porn is like super fucking racist. Like I'm in a movie called Shrimp Fried Pussy. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh
and like it's not even weird. Like it's totally normal and like
do you find it problematic? What do you find it that way yourself?
Do I find porn to be what, like racist?
Like problematic, like or
yeah, for sure. I think so. And I didn't until like this year. Wow. I think, you know, because the world is in such a place where we're really like examining ourselves and like starting to realize like, you know, a lot of the shit we do is problematic. And I think, you know, for porn, like it's really complicated because I don't know that like I'm someone who sees like, for example, an Asian fetish. Like I'm not offended by that at all. Like I'm just not. Like if anything, I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Right.
Like I'm flattered. But also like or even like I don't know, like I don't it's hard because in porn we sign up to be objectified, right? Like that's part of the job. So for me it's not so problematic, but then I think about like the greater picture and like what we're putting out there and like what kids are first being introduced to an Asian woman having sex as, or like or when they do see a movie cover and it's like my big black stepbrother like annihilates the little blonde whatever and it's just like I don't know, like it's and maybe, you know, I'm older now too, so maybe I'm just like looking at things differently. But
also, you have a kid. I wonder, like, I would think if I had a kid, I would think about like, well, what are they gonna watch, and are there certain things that I feel uncomfortable of them watching? But it's also like then that's taking away from their freedom.
It's also understanding though that you're not gonna be able to control a lot of that stuff too. You know what I mean? They're gonna be out there and. My parents was like never around growing up. I was able to go to South Central at like 11 p.m. on a school night. And they didn't, you know, when I dropped out of high school, they didn't even know I dropped out for 2 years.
Same.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah.
I dropped out for 6 months and my parents had no idea.
For real, for real. They're just busy. They're busy, you know what I'm saying?
They're busy, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Immigrant parents are busy.
Yeah, that's what they don't get. But
yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, like I was just thinking, like, you know, it's I don't know. I think the porn industry is going through a huge shift right now, and I think it's like kind of our responsibility in a lot of ways because we have such a huge platform. Like I think, for example, I'll just like put this out as an example. For example, like Pornhub just banned the N-word for like all comments and video titles. And then like, and it's like such a, and like, for example, YouTube, you can say it all day long. Like it's totally fine. And then like, you know, people are like, oh, but freedom of speech, like what? I think it's just like, at what point is it like our actual fucking responsibility to like not allow it, even if, you know, it's not illegal, or even if maybe the law doesn't necessarily protect us from that. Like I think when you have like a big platform like that, not just Pornhub, but I mean like porn in general is just like a huge platform. I think it is maybe like the responsibility like none of us wanted, but like I think we should pay attention to, for sure.
Yeah. Do you like doing a lot of the I mean, you've been doing a lot of hosting and personality, being like the face of like Pornhub. Like, do you enjoy that stuff?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I think I still shoot videos and stuff like amateur style, and I don't know that like I'm not really planning on stopping anytime soon. But I haven't shot like mainstream studio porn in forever. But like for me, like I love being in porn. Like I love the porn industry. I love working with sex. I love talking about sex all day long. Like to me, like I don't see myself ever really leaving the industry. Like I just, even like when I do projects that are like not really porn related, like I'm like, oh, that was cool, but I would never want to do that every day.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, yeah, you're really passionate about it. You care about it, which is...
Yeah, and it's evolved, you know, like as I get older, I think like when I was younger and I got into porn, I was like, oh, I'm horny, I'm an exhibitionist, I want to be a porn performer, like I want to be a porn star. Like I was that kid. But now, like as like a 35-year-old woman, like I definitely feel a little bit more like, maybe political is not the right word, but like now I'm like, oh, like I need to be a feminist and like be, I need to like live life my way, like regardless of what society says. Like I need to show that like women can be sexual and proud and empowered. Like I do feel a little bit more of like that kind of a drive, for sure.
Right.
And especially like as an Asian American, like I think
I always say, dude, like, you know, Asian porn stars should be honored at some of these Asian galas, dude. Galas. I swear to God. I mean, I'm just, you know, it's, dude, they had like Asian porn stars, like porn stars in general, just have the most views out of any fucking movie star or whatever, really. Like every clip is viral. Every porn clip is viral on the internet.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet. Like, how are we going to be honored by like Asians? Like even our parents won't even.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like they should. I mean, well, actually, this is a good question. What is the first like Asian porn star you saw coming up?
For me, like the big one was Tara Patrick, for sure. I think Asia Carrera, now that I'm in porn, I realized that Asia Carrera was like the one. But for me, it was Tara Patrick. And she's not even like really that Asian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were my first Asian porn star ever. And I remember this, I was dating this guy from UCLA. And you were like, I only watched porn once with like a group of my girlfriends before, and it was lesbian porn randomly in middle school. And the second time was you, and I had found you on my boyfriend's, he's Japanese, on his like computer, and I was like shocked, and I was like, and then I started searching your name. I was like, who's this person? There's an Asian porn star.
Thank you.
And then I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed.
Well,
I think that's
thank
why
you.
you're just like my introduction to like porn.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
I definitely feel like
But don't you guys feel like? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Don't you guys feel like being Asian in entertainment in general is hard? Like, for example, like I talked to like Bobby Lee, and I'm like, honestly, like I think like being an Asian comedian probably is just as hard as being an Asian porn star. Like as far as your family and like culture goes, because I think it's like, to me anyway, like from what I've seen, it's definitely a true stereotype that like our parents as Asians like don't really want us to like go into the arts or entertainment or like anything like that.
100%. I mean, like if you're talking about Asian female comedians, literally in the past 20 years, there have been like 2 stars, you know, like Margaret Cho and like Ali Wong.
Ali Wong,
you know what I'm saying? Like those are like the only 2 in the span of like almost probably 30 years actually, because Margaret Cho came out in the early 90s. You know, it's kind of wild if you think about it in that sense. So yeah, you're right. I mean, and even the porn stars you mentioned, it was like Tara Patrick, Asia Carrera, and it was like you for the next 15
like Kobe
years.
Tai.
Yeah, and it was like you after that. Yeah. And Kobe Tai, Asia Carrera, and Tara Patrick were like, that was during the times where I had to wait like a whole day for a video clip. So I settled for the MP3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's.
Oh my god! I even remember like downloading like Bang Bus scenes off LimeWire, and I remember like it would take so long to download, and you would like have to watch the intro.
Yeah.
Like it would like,
that shit was.
But yeah. Like,
I was so horny, like I just downloaded the trailers for these movies, and the trailers was good enough for me, dude. And the trailers were free. On all these porn sites, the trailers were free to watch, you know what I'm saying? So the trailer was enough for me. But it's like, it's so crazy because the editors like knew that like how to edit it where the trailers weren't almost enough for you. Like, you know what I mean? They just edited it right where you're just wanting to get that little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Those motherfuckers knew. They knew how to edit that shit. They really did.
You know why I think that is for me anyway? Like if I'm watching porn and like when I'm about to come, I need them to stay on the same position from the time that I'm starting to come until I come. Does that make sense? I can't have them switch it up halfway through that.
That's
or else
true.
I'm like starting over.
Same.
And like in a trailer.
I've never watched a porn just all the way through without skipping parts.
Oh.
Nah.
Who does that?
I know motherfuckers who like, even downloading porn sounds like crazy now because you can stream everything.
I mean, how about GIFs? Do you guys use GIFs to watch porn? That seems like what the young kids are doing.
I watch it as like a sampler, but it's not like a full-on course, you know? It's like a Costco sample.
Like a little pinwheel sandwich. I could come to a GIF, honestly. Yeah. If it's the right one. Yeah.
It's on loop.
I could. I can even come to pictures. Like I have a folder in my phone called dick pics, and like sometimes I just like scroll through them, and then like when I'm ready to come, I stop on one picture and then I come.
This is actually a good question for you. This is actually really interesting to hear like how a porn star consumes porn. So like, what is your process? Do you go to just like a site? Do you have like a free account because you work for Pornhub? Like what's the thing? What's your process?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have a free account. Like I have a free account on Pornhub, which is already free, but I have like the premium.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like I have like a 3,000 day free trial or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've definitely like subscribed to some sites. So like usually for me, like if I'm masturbating, for the most part, I'll either watch guys jerking off or gay porn. So I definitely subscribe to like men.com, or like Sean Cody, sites like that. But like, I mean, for the most part, I just go to Pornhub and like, I'm pretty like picky.
Yeah.
About my porn, not just about like, it's not even just the guy. Like I need like I love, for me, my favorite kind of movie is like two guys that like seem really straight and they're jerking off in front of each other.
Oh my god.
And like that's, to me, like that's like nothing is hotter. But I don't like when it's like too professional looking. Like I don't like if they look like they're in a studio.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I need it to be like my favorite one ever is like these two dudes who look like strangers and they're on a train in like the Ukraine or something.
Ooh.
And they're on like a real train and like one starts getting a boner and then the other one's like trying to look away, but like I don't know, it's very low budget and really old, but love that.
Can
like,
we share that? Can you share your favorite later?
Yeah.
On? Can you DM me your favorite? I'm just
Yeah, it's like
it's gotta be.
It's like a
fucking
Spotify playlist. Asa's favorite clips. Why don't they
yeah.
have that actually? Like the porn
I
stars.
did, you know what? I did one
Oh, you did?
recently on Pornhub, but people like I've never seen something so thumbs down on Pornhub before.
Wow.
Because I think people didn't like that, like I picked like basically like gay dudes,
Yeah.
guys jerking off,
Right.
and then like a few like bisexual scenes, and like it was just like too much of a mix. Like it's like we said before, like people like their porn like categorized and like
True.
you know, like the guy that's like looking for big tits doesn't want to see a dude jerking off.
That's
just
always
like-
found that weird. Like I like tits. I like big tits, but I never click on big tits. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole section. Like I just feel like big tits are already thrown
me
in
tell you
everywhere. It's sprinkled in everywhere. Big tits are sprinkled in, you know, and a little bit of everywhere.
My husband, literally, when he goes on Pornhub, he's like, he loves tits so much, he doesn't even look up anyone's name or like a sex act or anything. He literally just goes to the big tits section.
Wow.
When you date
Like,
people, sorry.
what?
I was gonna say, when you're dating people, do you immediately, is that one of your first things, like you want to know, about, like you want to know about like who they are as a person, and that includes what kind of porn, what genre do you watch? I tend to like it for myself. I tend to like to know what whoever I'm about to date, what they like. It doesn't mean that that's what they're into in real life either. I've really learned that, but it's also extremely interesting to know.
It's really interesting to know. I think, yeah, I want to know, but I probably don't ask right away.
Yeah.
Maybe too. I also feel like, I don't know, like ever since I've been in porn, like a lot of the people I date, like I already know. Because like a lot of the guys like have been in porn or
Yeah.
or even like my husband now, like I known him since I was 14, like, so
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess maybe if I were like to go on like Tinder now, I don't know, like
Let me ask you this. I just have just a random question as like, this is probably what I would ask when I was like 17 or something like that. Like, are the Nuru massages like fire as they look?
honestly, they're so fun.
They are, okay.
And yeah, they're so fun. And like, let me tell you something hilarious. The most common problem that would happen on a Nuru massage set is that the guy would come too fast.
Wow.
Because it feels so good.
It looks like
that
it feels
stuff,
good.
It's insane. The closest thing I've found to, because that company that we used to shoot for, I think it was like nurumassage.com or something, like the ones that really pioneered it in the States.
Yeah.
They would import the Nuru gel from Japan.
Oh,
and it
wow.
was like the OG Nuru gel. Like it was
Yeah.
made out of like seaweed and like glycerin or something. And the closest thing I've found to it here that you can get here is J Lube, which is actually a horse lube. It's for eliminating horses.
Wow.
And it's really fucking messy though. Like, and it takes a long time to wash off, but
That's
it's
why.
really fun.
That's why I never set up a Nuru massage in my living room, because that looks like an absolute like ordeal.
It's like it gets on everything and it like does not wash off. It's such a pain in the ass.
I think
But
I went halfway one time. I literally looked for inflatable, and then I was like, oh, now I got to find the gel. Like, no. And then next thing you know, I gave up on it. I just have an inflatable at the crib now. It's like,
no, you know what you have to do is if you go to Montreal, they have like professional neuro massages.
Wow.
yeah, because
Like a rub and tug.
that looks like the most like just relaxing thing. Just tits rubbing on your back with this special gel, and especially with the gel, like the way they make the lube looks insane because you get that little
I mean,
like
it
webby
really looks
thing.
like that. Yeah, it's all slimy and like that's the thing with the J Lube, the horse one, the horse knockoff. It's like it doesn't look as clear
Yeah.
like that. It's a
Why the
little bit
fuck
more
do
like
horses get the
like
best
opaque.
lube? They're getting the fire lube. Like the horses are getting the good shit. Like you can't just jerk them off. Like they need the good
'Cause you
shit.
need-
Like damn.
Because they have the biggest dicks.
I don't know.
That's why.
I don't know.
Horses.
Maybe because like their dicks are so big.
Yeah.
Horses are so horny. Like they got human porn. Like they're fucking humans. Like I remember like when you were young. Back in the day when you had like AOL and shit like that.
Yeah.
There was this one random clip that would circulate, and it was like a horse, like a girl like sucking off a horse.
Wait. But the fact that there's horse porn is not a testament to how horny horses are. That's a testament
that's a
to
good
how
point.
horny humans are.
True.
It's not like the horse set up to shoot. The horse was like, "Yo, I'm running on a strict time. I'm out of here by. I have a hard out at 5. All right."
Yo, those humans look tiny as they are. Let's go fuck them.
The horse is like, "I have a hard out at 5. What the? Can we get it moving around here?" God. Oh shit. Yeah, no, I feel that. By the way, I wasn't looking up horse porn. I swear, this was a clip that just was circulating like crazy on AOL.
Yeah.
It was a thing. I
I
was not
mean,
looking
who
up.
hasn't seen horse porn? Like,
I haven't seen. I'm kind of scared to like it. That's to be
What?
honest. I'm scared to like watch any sort of like animal thing, and then what if you kind of are turned on by it? Like I don't want to know that I'm turned on by it. Do you know what I'm
well,
saying?
there's only one way to find out.
No, I don't want to know. I don't.
Was
want
there
to
ever
enjoy it.
anything that you were scared that you might like? Were you ever scared? Like, did you have a scared feeling about that? Like, oh, I might, actually like this.
Probably can't talk about it.
I mean, you don't have to talk about it. I'm just wondering if you
can't even
had.
say.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything I was ever scared that I would. There's a lot of things that I did not think I would like. Like, I never thought I would like anal, for example, and I love it. I never thought I would like DP. It's like my favorite thing in the world. You know what though? Like I feel that way more about like food.
Yeah.
Like 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 Trader Joe's will come out with like a new cookie butter cookie or something, and I'm like, fuck, if I try that, like my life is over. Like it might be better to just not try it at all. But like I don't know.
Do you are you very conscious about like your physical like appearance with like working out and stuff throughout your porn career?
Yeah, I yeah, for sure. I think I'm getting a little bit better now that I'm like back on the East Coast, but like while I was in LA, I like definitely full on had like body dysmorphia disorder.
Oh wow.
For sure. Like I wouldn't even travel if there wasn't a gym in the hotel.
Right.
Like that was and like I would never eat grains like ever.
Yeah.
I would only have cheat days like once every 2 weeks, and like and I can't tell if it's because like I'm from New York, so like for me growing up, I thought like thick girls were so beautiful. Like Puerto Rican girls to me are like the hottest in the world. But the second I got out to LA, I just like could not be skinny enough. Like I just got obsessed with like being as skinny as I possibly could be. And I don't know if that was like porn or LA. But it was like a very, very like, yeah, like I would like always count calories and like I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning so I could go to Barry's boot camp.
Wow.
before going to set. And like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, now I'm still conscious of it, but like I'm definitely like I'm a lot kinder to myself, I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you feel like the industry is changing? Like I know with like, you know, in the acting and modeling world where it's also like image conscious, like that they are using more, I would say like real girls. That's what I feel like they categorize as like real people. Like, do you feel like in porn it's going down that route, or if
There always has been, no?
or is it always?
I feel like isn't there always?
Yeah.
There's always somebody.
Or is it still categorized so it's different? You know, like is it gonna?
It's still categorized so it's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the good thing about porn is that like no matter what you look like, there's gonna be people that like you the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be someone's flavor, and you're also never gonna be everyone's flavor.
Yeah.
There should be.
So that's like.
I would think there's a category of everything. Like there's a category called girl who is fit, but she let herself, gain a few pounds 3 weeks after.
Let's shame her.
Yeah,
like that.
Like girl who's thin but just went to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, that's a whole ass category. Hold on, before we continue, let me just tell everybody in the chat. Right now is the chance for you guys to throw in a bunch of questions, and we'll go through every question real quick. So throw your questions in the chat. We're not going to take any calls today because I can't figure out this fucking app. But throw it in the chat right now. Questions, any question you guys had for Asa, throw it in right now, and we'll get through them in a second.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how so excited. And you know how like Asian women are, like you said that you're okay with being fetishized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how come do you think, is it one of the biggest categories, like Asian porn? Is that Asian women? So, it's like almost the complete opposite for Asian men. Like, I feel like Asian men are not sexualized. They're, they aren't known as like masculine. Do you think do you see that changing, or like what can happen for that to be more of a popular genre?
I mean, honestly, you know what? Like, I say porn's talking about racism and all this, but like, we're not even at the Asians yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I would say that's true for the whole world. Like, I think like we're right now, like, I mean, like, obviously the injustices that like Black people face are like far, far greater than I think our problems.
Right.
But like that being said, like racism against Asian people is very fucking real, right?
Yeah.
And like, so I think we're just like not there yet, honestly. I think like maybe we're next.
Right.
Or maybe like we'll just be part of this. But like I don't really like hear anyone that's not Asian talking about racism against Asians
You see,
in the world.
The whole thing, to me, it's like to navigate this and get your voice heard is a very tricky process. Even in the way politics work and you vote things in and the priorities of things, it's the same way with the way you share your issues, right? There's a time and place for everything. And even if you want your issue heard, it's the way you present it. You have to present it at a right time and the right way. So just because someone isn't talking about it or not doesn't mean that's not on their agenda, but you got to find the right way to package these issues and present it. That's why I always tell I tell a lot of these like people who have this fire about being active, especially this past year. There's so many, this mass awakening of people, but there's also people who've been doing this work for years and they know how to get their message across and their voices heard. I think there's this huge clash right now of people who are excited about issues, but they're just out there aggressive. Like, how come you're not talking about it? Like, motherfuckers have been in this shit for years. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just new to the shit and you're excited. You're like, it's like the college kid going to college for the first time and being woke to all these issues and, finally organizing their own protests. There's like this fervor, but you got to know how to control that. And it's like a long fight. The fight is long. Yeah, I don't know where I was going. Sorry. But
We're both like, yeah.
No, that's so true. That's absolutely true.
well, okay, let's we got a couple questions here, I think. Okay, this is
No,
a
those are
stupid question.
horrible
It's like, would
questions.
anyone watch a flick with 3 of them in it? Jesus. We had,
Great question.
right. Let me see here. How come no one's really asking questions? This is usually pretty lit.
But also, like, I feel like when it comes to like Asian men and sexuality, like, I think it's also like, I think it goes back to the same thing of like, we don't see Asian people like doing as much like things in entertainment as like other people, as other races. Like, I mean, like I think like people like you and like, I think it's like making a huge difference right now. Cause like now, like think about the next generation. Like the next generation of kids are gonna see like you guys, and it's gonna be totally different for them because they had someone to look up for. Like
Yeah.
for in our generation, like who was like an Asian rapper? Like Jin.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah.
That's it. And we had like that one moment, you know what I mean? Where he was really huge. And then I mean, it's not like he was like Jay-Z or anything, you know? So I think it's gonna change. I think representation really does matter, I guess is what I'm saying.
Have you
Like, I
ever-
think that's
have-
a real
have
thing.
you
And
ever-
it transfers over to porn.
Have you ever
Yeah.
dealt with any critique from the Asian community, whether it be positive or negative?
Yeah,
And
for
what,
sure.
what
I
kind of
think,
stuff?
Oh man, like a lot. I think, you know, I think one of the hardest things to me about being like a public person at all has been like, I've been doing podcasts for like a long time, and I've been, you know, in porn for 12 years now. And like, there's been so much dumb shit that I've said over the years because I was literally an immature person and like I hadn't been educated yet. And I think that, you know, like any other person, I've educated myself, I've learned, I've become better. Like I have different opinions now than when I was 22, 23 years old. But like it sucks because I'm on record saying a lot of really stupid shit. Even on like DVD ASA, like there's so much stuff that I said that I'm like, whoa, I don't feel that way anymore. But I can see how as a young person, like I felt like that, you know? So like, I don't want to like invalidate myself back then, but like, I think it's really hard, especially when there is not a lot of people, not a lot of Asian people, you know, in entertainment at all, to be one of the only ones. And then like a lot of kids are like kind of really hoping for you to say the right thing all the time. And I'm not. Like, I'm in fucking porn, you know what I mean? Like I'm like not gonna say the right thing all the time at all. Like I'm very stupid about so many things. So yeah, I've had a lot of backlash about a lot of things I've said.
That's what we need is a whole generation of successful Asian fuck ups. Like once we have that, like more people in the Asian community can have empathy for people in unconventional fields. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be entertainment, porn. I'm just being real. Like, you know, there's this high expectation of Asians and what they do. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, you know, obviously, because we've talked about this a lot. You know, your parents care about like you being these other professions like lawyer and doctor because that's their idea of money. Like that's where money comes in. They don't see how Asians can make money in these other things because they haven't seen Asians make money.
It's not just money. It's like, I think with whatever their value is in terms of like respect, they're like, oh, if you're a doctor, you can be respected no matter where you are. You're helping people or something.
I feel like celebrities stars are respected. Like, if you know, people in Asia, when they watch stars on TV, they respect them. You know, I guess in America, they just haven't seen enough of that. You know, even in America, like the biggest Asian stars are ones from overseas.
Right.
You know, like BTS is the biggest Asian group, and they're not even Asian American. You know what I mean? Like they're the biggest Asian group in America, and they're not Asian American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just it's gonna take a long time. You know what I'm saying? But I got to give you props because you've hung in there for a minute. Like you have been in through the trenches. Like it's like you being in porn is like when Margaret Cho got into comedy in the early '90s and Asians like hated her. You
Well,
know?
I didn't even recognize. I didn't even think about that. There's so much weight put in your shoulders as being like one of the forefront of an Asian American being in porn. Like I didn't even think about that. That's so stressful.
But also, like, I mean, yeah, yes and no, because also, like, also in general, people just have low expectations of porn stars. So there's that, like, maybe it balances out.
Right.
But, like, I feel bad for, like, I think it sucks that a lot of, like, young Asian girls, like, I think it sucks for them that I'm one of maybe, like, 10 faces they have to relate to in media.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that actually really sucks for them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that person. Like, I'm really just not. Like, I think it's a real shame that they don't have, like, a plethora of women to choose from. And, like, maybe if they gravitate toward the porn star, like, good for them. Like, that's just who they are. But, like, it's just, you know, it sucks that it's, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, it's growing, I guess, in the last couple of years or whatnot. By the way, was there a Crazy Rich Asians porn parody? I'm sure there was, right? And if there was, they'd have to probably hit up every Asian porn star being that shit, like, for real.
If that movie had been made 5 years ago, there would have been, or not even 5, maybe like 10 years ago, that parody would have been made so fast.
Because parodies were big, right? Back then.
Yeah, parodies were a thing. And also, like, I think people are really scared to touch, like, race issues right now, I think. Or, like, anything that's, like, first of all, like, there aren't many Asian producers in porn. Like, what, is a white dude gonna produce, like, Crazy Rich Asians parody? And, like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, that feels gross. Like,
there isn't a lot of Asian directors and producers in porn?
Huh.
Really?
And if they are, what country? Is it like Japan? Does Japan have a lot of... No?
Oh, I mean, Japan has their own...
Like overseas.
Japan has their own industry that's, like, big. But it's, like, we're so separated from them. And, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't even know if, like, I'm pretty sure it's, like, Yakuza run, right? Like,
it's what?
It's, like, Yakuza run.
Oh, wait, you know what? Actually, that's a good question. Are you at all acknowledged in Japan or anything? Like,
I have no idea.
That's interesting.
Wow.
I think, like, when I go to Japan, like, I can't tell if people are looking at me because I'm, like, pretty Americanized. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you feel it too. Like, when you go back, it's like, there are things that you can't hide about being an American. You know, it's just like, even like the way I like do my makeup, or like I have fake tits, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know. But I don't think I do well in Japan in porn, because like
there's certain looks for sure in Asia, like Korea too. You know,
but I also think like the style of porn, like I feel like they watch a different style. Like
I didn't recognize you without your vagina blurred.
But also, like they like their porn stars to be very like. I think from the Japanese porn I've seen, it seems like the porn out there, like it's very like sex is happening to the woman, whereas I think I'm very like loud and like horny, and like I don't think I'm probably too horny for them.
Yeah, there's like this shy thing.
You know what I mean?
That's, like,
too desperate. Yeah.
Yeah, over there it's like the moans sound like Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? Like an injured Pikachu.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What is there a Korean porn industry?
Oh, Korean porn is trash. Korean
Really?
porn is trash, yeah.
What is you guys don't pixelate, right?
You know what? The stuff, it's very soft-core-ish actually, Korean porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really find like it's just not in the culture. Like you don't go to like any liquor store, magazine stores, and there's not like porn magazines or nothing like that. It's not like Japan at all. And most porn websites from America are you can't access them in Korea. And I've tried. I've tried. You cannot. And it's the crazy thing is, but I give props for a lot of like nude models or porn like softcore porn actresses and actors there, because it is like you would be shamed like crazy for it. So if you do it, you're like on some next level shit.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I could totally see that.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Korean porn is just not popping. Nothing. It's not.
Do you think they watch porn out here, or do you think they watch their own form of porn? Like, do you think Koreans are watching their own porn, or like people from their own countries, or are they all watching like
American?
Or a lot of them watching American porn.
American porn might look a little. It's like the way like servings of like American fast food is compared to like Asian food. It's like too salty, and like they might look at porn like that, like, yo, this is too much.
Well, I want to hear.
Well, also, like, I know that, so, like, Pornhub does this thing where, like, they put out the analytics from every single year, and one of the things that they release, one of the pieces of information they release is, like, what every country is searching for the most, and more times than not, I feel like one of the most searched things in every country is, like, their own country.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
like in India, Indian girls is always, like, in the top 3. Japan, Japanese girls, top 3. So it's like, I think people are trying to see their own.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
That is pride. That is pride right there.
That's nationalism.
That's the thing. Over here, they just do everything behind doors. It's like you'll have racist MAGA hat wearing people watch black porn.
Right.
You know?
Being someone who's like gone to different countries and have had, you know, sex with other women, do you feel like it's similar to the form of their porn? To having sex with like women from that country?
Oh, what do you mean? Like, wait, say that again. If what?
Like, you know, like the style of porn that you're watching, like.
Oh, are they
Korea,
like that? Or do they
like
perform sexually like that?
Yeah, similar to.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's a really good question. But I would imagine, yeah, because like that's how they're informed, right? Like,
yeah,
of what's sexy.
Porn is, I mean. American porn is like done up crazy because you get like, I don't know, the performance is very, very, like, it's very performative here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's very performative. Over there, it's like they're just filming like it's like it feels like they're filming an amateur situation, and it's not. It's actual porn stars, you know.
But now that you guys mention it, like even within porn, I would say like we have within porn, we have stereotypes about each other. Like the people from like Eastern Europe fuck a certain way. Black dudes fuck a certain way.
Yeah.
American girls fuck a certain way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's definitely, we have those stereotypes. And like, of course there are lots of exceptions, but like they're often true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they're fucking with an accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
What accent is that? Is that Eastern European? The way you're thrusting, there's a slight little lean to it. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go through the questions real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with you, Asa. Love how much you rep the trans community. What trans star would you perform with?
Oh my God, I think that's one of my biggest, like the saddest things about my porn career is that I never did trans scenes because it's something I really like fantasized about and I wanted to do. And also like, I just think I don't know, porn was such a different place when I was shooting like studio porn that like none of the studios wanted to shoot like a cis girl with a trans woman. Like it just like wasn't really something they thought sold a lot of movies, I guess. But I mean, there's so many that I would love to work with. I think Natasha Dreams is one woman I'd really like to work with. Domino Presley, Bailey J. Who else? I mean, there's T.S. Foxy.
Okay.
I think she's really hot.
Is there any taboos that you're surprised are normalized?
Yeah, I mean, what, like ass to mouth?
As you,
Like that's not pretty normal now.
Yeah.
and you're
And
surprised
I feel like
about
it
that?
shouldn't be. You know, I mean, like, okay, so I never thought about it. Like, I think ass to mouth is kind of hot, but like the other day, like I was doing this Instagram live thing on Pornhub, and like someone asked, like, is it safe to do ass to mouth? And this was probably like a younger person with like less experience in sex. And like, I've done so much ass to mouth on camera, and I had to like honestly say, like, no, it's not safe.
Yeah.
I just do it anyway. But like, you're really like not supposed to do that. So
Wait, you're not supposed to what, like eat ass? Is that?
I mean, well, like you're not like if someone's like fucking my ass, like it's not the healthiest thing for me to like take that dick out of my ass and put it straight down my throat.
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah,
you get
yeah.
like E. coli,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't think it would be really hard to find any doctor in the world who would be like, yeah, go ahead, like you should do that. But it's pretty like normal, I feel like.
Yeah, the act of it seems pretty normal, but like the safetiness of like the nastiness of it, I
Yeah.
guess, is not. Yeah, it doesn't feel normal, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Asa, what are your favorite memories of your old podcast, DVD Asa?
Oh my God, I have so many. There was one time that there was a girl who was supposed to be a guest. She's in porn, and she was supposed to be a guest on the show, and she got into a car crash on the way over. And I was like, I don't believe her. And we like did this like hardcore like investigation.
Yeah.
And like we were like taking like the data off the photos she was sending, and like just like we got like really into it, and we found out she was indeed lying, and that photo of that car crash was like from 5 months ago. And that was one of the funnest moments on the show.
Like you investigating
Getting
this
down
thing.
to it, like your forensic files.
It was just like, yeah, like we were all so into it. And I think, but it's hard to like describe. Like that whole show was like my whole social life for 2 years.
Yeah.
And like that's like who I hung out with. That's like, it was the most consistent, you know, group of people in my life. And like, I think it's a really good actually example, or like, it's a really good, like, not metaphor, but like a good, like, representation of like what was so fun about that group was like, there were so many stupid things that we took really seriously.
Yeah.
And also too far. And I think that was just like really, really fun. Yeah, like I don't know. I have like really, really, to me, like doing DVDSA was like some of the funnest moments of my life. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, I love that shit. That
All
shit was
stupid
so
shit like
great. Yeah, so great. What's your zodiac sign? Someone, it's in
You
here.
can't Google that? I feel like that would be
I
in
actually like, I hate astrology, and
Wow.
I like actively don't subscribe to it, but I know everything about it. So I like
Wow.
secretly can't believe in it. But I'm a Capricorn.
Okay. Do women go to rub and tug parlors?
I would also like to know. I know that when I
You
went to
talked about
I
this,
Japan,
yeah.
asked
I
that
went
question.
to
I'm like, how
Japan with
it doesn't
my
seem
ex.
fair.
I don't think like a rub and tug would maybe work for women, just because we're so complicated. Like I don't know, like no offense, but like the random old Asian lady that's like working at the massage parlor is probably not going to figure out how to make me come in like 30 minutes.
Well, there should be a
Like,
man,
I'm
like
sorry.
there should be like men that do it, or not a man, or whatever your
No, it's
sexual
definitely
preference
harder.
is.
It's way harder to make
but-
a woman come than a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't think? Yeah, I guess because for women, it's different, right? There's so many things that go into
So
it.
different.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like
you
a
gotta,
guy,
yeah.
I feel like
They got that.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, a girl, they got to fill out an application of the things before they go into the room of the certain things that really gets them going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's true.
And like hobbies and interests, like you got to write that in. You got
How
to write all types
successful
of
would
shit.
that be? Because how often do guys like actually try to make a girl come? You know, that I feel like that would. Be
I wonder, but also like it would. I feel like I don't know. Like even as someone who's like, I'm like all about that. I think that sounds really, really like intriguing, and I would love to go to one like with dudes. But like, it sounds creepy though.
Yeah.
Like, my initial reaction is like, ew. What kind of dude would work at like, you know what I mean? Like a rub and tug for girls. Like,
right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey, times are rough. Okay, Asa. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That flew by. It was like 2 hours already.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me.
No, it was great. We really covered a lot of ground here.
You're awesome. I want to know what lip gloss you're wearing. I love it, and I feel like I need.
Oh my
it.
god. I'll tell you right now. So it's Glossier. Is it called Glossier or Glossier?
Yeah, Glossier. I think.
Yeah, that brand.
Yeah.
And it's their like super shiny lip gloss. And
Just
I
the
actually
regular?
it's right now I have on the clear, but I have all three and I love all of them.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
And it lasts a really long time. Like I definitely recommend
It's still
it.
shining, girl.
Thanks.
We need the Asa Akira YouTube makeup tutorials.
Yeah, I would totally watch that. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Every episode would just be like on eyeliner and eyelashes.
Well, hope you take care of yourself during this time, Asa. It's a son, right? You have a son?
Yeah.
So cute, super cute, mixed babies. Shout out to the mixed babies out there. Is there anything? What do you got going on? I mean, or are you just doing the mom thing?
I'm just doing the mom thing. I'm working for Pornhub. You can check out my amateur style porn on. I keep changing the domain. I'm addicted to buying domains. Right now, you can go to freenudes.org.
Okay.
Actually, and that will connect you to my paid account as well.
So does this mean you now can do the mom category in porn now? Or I mean, not that you need to have a baby to do that category, but
No, not at all. Like Lisa Ann doesn't have a kid, for example. But like, listen, I've been trying to like really push the MILF thing.
Yeah.
But it's like that thing where you like can't give yourself a nickname. Like, I think people aren't really loving it for me.
You just don't seem like, I don't think of you.
Not
as,
yet,
like,
yeah.
You're a you just don't look like you look like a
especially an
20-year-old
Asian
girl. Like, you just
Asian.
look like a young girl who's like has fun. Like,
Well, especially
you know?
if you're
I
an
don't think of
Asian.
her as-
Asian moms, you gotta look like
Wait another 30 years, maybe at that point.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as like an Asian MILF in porn.
I think this is how I see like an Asian mom category. Like the dude is playing like a computer game in his room, and the girl who's playing the Asian mom walks in with sliced fruit, and it gets real crazy.
Before you even said that, I also imagine sliced fruit in a bowl.
A sliced fruit with like toothpicks on each of them,
Fuji
on top of
apples?
each of them, and then the kid's like, "Mom, chill! I'm playing fucking StarCraft right now." It's like, you gotta eat your fruit.
Did you finish your homework?
Okay, all right, Asa, thank you so much.
I
We
guess
love
no
you.
one wants to see that.
Yeah, we love you. This will be out on all platforms tomorrow. But take care of yourself, and let's talk soon. Hopefully, we'll all get to hang out in real life at some point.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're
thanks,
amazing.
Asa.
Have a good one.